Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Chofao Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Deputy President of the Patriotic Alliance party formed by the newly appointed Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton McKenzie, has a message to South African celebrities and the South African Human Rights Commission for siding with Chidimma Adetshina. This interview took place on SABC, and this is what he had to say. Hello, my name is Reneilwe Morema, and I am your host right here on the African Diaspora News Channel, reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa. Deputy President of the Patriotic Alliance Party, Kunene, says South African celebrities should stop involving themselves prematurely in matters that involve illegal immigrants when they don't have the facts. And while he was continuing with his point on SABC interview, the channel decided to put him on hold and pretended it was a bad signal. This is the same SABC that Zuma warned us about, the same SABC that spreads white propaganda to the millions of Black South Africans. They tried to silence Kunene. They tried to stop him from speaking his truth. Check out this interview with Kunene on SABC News.
But I must add to say, celebrities, South African celebrities, must stop involving themselves prematurely in matters that involve illegal immigrants or foreigners when they don't have the facts. Number two.
All right, that line there, we seem to have lost the Deputy President of the Patriotic Alliance, Kunene, as you hear, that they've now withdrawn that particular matter that they had now filed with the court in order to get Chidimma Adetshina to pull out from the Miss South Africa pageant. So we lost that line there to the Deputy President of the Patriotic. I do understand he's back now. Mr. Kunene, I do understand you're back. We lost you there for a second. You were saying the second point is?
The second point is the South African Human Rights Commission needs to refrain from threatening South Africans about taking action when South Africans voice their dismay and their disgust on the behavior of illegal immigrants.
Where do we draw the line, though?
South African Human Rights Commission sent out a statement saying it will take steps against those, in their words, those who were abusing this Nigerian woman. So this commission is forever defending illegal immigrants, is forever defending foreigners. When does it defend South Africans? In fact, I suspect that there are Nigerians and Zimbabweans in this commission. The Minister of Home Affairs must send immigration officers to go and verify the identity of those who are members of this commission. Because everyone would then agree that it is a foreign human rights commission, not a South African human rights commission, because it has called the Patriotic Alliance xenophobic. When we stand for South Africans, even in this instance, we stood for South Africans with patriotic South Africans, and they threatened with a press statement that they will take anyone to task who is busy abusing this woman. That was not abuse. People were saying you're a Nigerian. You can't represent our culture. How are you going to speak about our culture when you're Nigerian? There's no abuse there.
What stood out for me is that he said the South African Human Rights Commission threatened to take steps against South Africans for abusing Chidimma Adetshina. Kunene accused the commission of issuing a media statement to the effect that it will take steps against individuals that were seen to be abusing the former Miss SA finalist Chidimma Adetshina. Mr. Kunene further called for the Department of Home Affairs to come to the commission to verify the identity and immigration status of people who work at the South African Human Rights Commission. Now, the South African Human Rights Commission's mandate is to support constitutional democracy through promoting, protecting, and monitoring the attainment of everyone's human rights in South Africa without fear, favor, or prejudice. And they acted well within their rights to protect Ms. Adetshina because, according to them, before the whole saga, she was a South African. With legal papers, need I add. So we can't blame them for protecting her rights without fear and prejudice. I think they would have done the same for any South African, but in the same breath, our people feel sidelined by these big operations running and protecting South Africa, including our celebrities with their huge influence and huge platform. With the South African citizens, it's pretty simple. You just need to hear us out. Don't immediately make decisions based on the outbursts of people on X. I get that the uproar on social media made it seem like we were on the verge of harming Ms. Adetshina, but that was not the case. We wanted to know the validity of her citizenship status. The South African Human Rights Commission came under fire not only for their biased stance, but it is said that their members are not even South African, which means they don't have our best interest at heart. Check out what this lady had to say about the South African Human Rights Commission.
Remember, everybody has got to be presumed innocent until they are proven guilty in a court of law.
My country people, fellow South Africans, can you believe it? And this Human Rights Commission, human rights organizations, none of them are South Africans. Have you noticed that? None of them has the best interest of South Africans at heart. None of them speak for the interest or on behalf of the interest of South Africans. Now, the question we need to ask ourselves is, who planted them? And why in South Africa? Because as far as I'm concerned, they are more needed from where they are coming from than here. The matters are high where they are coming from than here in South Africa. All of them. Helen Suzman, this one, I don't know who he is. I don't know how can he even talk on behalf of us. I don't know how he even represent us. We don't know him. You can tell he's not on our side. He's not talking to us. He's not talking to our issue. And by the way, who gets to ever represent us and talk for us as far as this human rights commissions? What about everything that's done against South Africans? Who gets to stand up for the human rights of South Africans? Because these people are in South Africa, advocating against South Africa, advocating for people that are doing things against South Africa. I mean, come on. Listen to this guy.
I hear her point, but I still say the South African Human Rights Commission is not obliged to act based on our emotional outbursts on social media. There are protocols in place that they need to follow, and I understand that it feels like everyone is against us, especially when celebrities with a huge following and influence address us in an ill-mannered way. Check out this celebrity in her rant to protect Ms. Adetshina. It kind of feels like she was coming at South Africans in a very negative way. Check out Pearl Tusi.
Born in South Africa. Hey, she's South African, yo swine! She's South African, yo massa! She's fucking South African. Bye.
So, yeah. So I get where the emotional outburst comes from. I get why we are also emotional. It feels like these big operations that are supposed to protect our rights, that are supposed to protect the rights of South African citizens and protect the country, essentially, is against us. I totally understand that it feels like they were trying to silence our voices. They were trying to silence us from raising our concerns. It looks like that, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, the Human Rights Commission has ways, has their own laws and mandate into, protecting us. They just don't act based on the outbursts on social media. they are not controlled by our emotional state. So they had to follow protocols. And remember that before they protected or they spoke on behalf of Miss Adetshina, it was not revealed yet that her mother committed fraud. It was not revealed yet that her citizenship status is a bit shaky. That was not revealed as yet. They acted to protect her as a South African citizen. And I feel like they would have done anything and everything if it was any South African person. They would have done anything to protect them as well. So it was not biased in any way. This is a very sensitive topic, and I'm trying to tread lightly. I am trying to see both points. I'm trying to see Miss Adetshina's point. I'm trying to see the South African citizen's point of view. They are both right. They are both right. So we need to tread carefully when we speak about such issues. And I'm trying my best to do that. What do you think about this segment? Comment to us in the comment section below. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora News channel. My name is Reneilwe Morema. It has been an absolute